Well, hello and welcome back, and thanks for coming back. Where are we? Armu Village, right on top of a mountain that looks down onto Paphos town and beyond into the blue Mediterranean Sea. That view you're looking at now, that's the flat lowlands in Mandrea and the Timmy area, and of course that's where you land on a big bird if you come into downtown paradise. And unfortunately, if you're going home, that's where you go again. That's the viewing point, which is going to give us a spectacular view down towards the blue Mediterranean Sea. But remember, I've brought with me the most beautiful woman in the world, and her name is Miss Ochin Grasibian LaBouffe. Let's get her to dismount and then give us a very big hello indeed.
Hello everybody, how nice to see you again and again. Today is a most especially video for you. Miss Jane, happy birthday to you. Very many happy returns we're wishing you to you, and let that this day will be the greatest day you have ever seen. And we wish you, all your lovely family, on all your lovely, all the people who you love will be together with you, that very happy as you are. Wishing you again and again very many happy birthdays from the bottom of our two hearts.
So a happy birthday to you, Miss Jane. And of course, she is the wife and partner in crime of the superstar known as Robbie Williams. Well, not that Robbie Williams, another Robbie Williams. In fact, a much nicer man indeed. And we had the great honour and the great pleasure to be accosted by Mr. Robbie and, of course, his partner in crime, Miss Jane. And we sat with a Dame Anne as well. What a great evening it was. Oh, there's dancing, there's pirouetting, and there's professorising.
Especially for you, Dame Anne.
I think that lorry's following us around, by the way. There's a lorry driving along the main road. No matter where we go, always someone tries to disrupt us. Here we go. We're going to ascend up into the Armu viewing points. That's Grasibian LaBouffe leading the way, and we're going to get up and well, see what she's got to say, shall we? Because as we understand, that sky, it's looking pretty blue. The sea, I promise you, is looking pretty blue. Mr. Paul is dressed head to toe in blue.
All is missing is you. So get yourself on a big bird or a canoe and start paddling like crazy. That's because we all are impatiently waiting just for you.
Shall we show the view? There we go. That's the spectacular view from the Uptown Armu viewing point, straight down across Uptown, Midtown and Lower Town Paphos, and out across that blue Mediterranean Sea. A view, quite simply, to take your breath away. Now, what's been going on in the lives of Marika and me?
Shall I sit down?
Have a little sit down and let's tell us what's been going on in the life of Marika.
Well, our Dame Anne has gone to her motherland, to her country. Where is her home? And it's such a pity that 3 weeks gone like one day. Even if we didn't meet every day, but every time we knew that she is breathing this air of island of love. She knew that we always will be with her, and we knew that every time we would call her, she will happily accept our company. This was very nice. And the day when she was going, I was a little bit upset, to be honest, and Mr. Paul as well. But as a man, he was keeping himself funny, not chopsy-mopsy moody, but I was a little bit chopsy.
I was a bit foxy, wasn't it? There we are.
Foxy-moxy is different.
So if you're new to the channel, by the way, slowly but surely, if you watch some of our episodes, you will get to understand some of our lunacy and some of our phrases. Chopsy-mopsy is bad weather. Foxy-moxy is a little bit wordy. And we've got the word Sherlock Holmes, which means S-H-I-T.
Sherlock Holmes, it means something that we don't like. Now, we don't want to repeat that very bad word, but we want to say that Sherlock Holmes is something that you never like. and you will never like it at all. So something in here,
Dirt and dust and that
I
kind of
don't
stuff.
know, something is
Now,
like,
do you want to know something? Today I was driving along and I was listening to Russian radio, and the two presenters were laughing and joking away in Russian. I didn't understand a word they said, but out of nowhere they said the word Sherlock Holmes, and I just wondered for 1 second, have they been watching Marika and Me? And wouldn't that be funny if they had?
normally if it was mentioned on Russian video, it's the detective Sherlock
Yes.
Holmes, and probably you just couldn't catch the point. But if I was there, Mr. Paul, I would explain you what was going
But
on.
you never know. They might be avid fans of the channel
never know.
known as Marika and Me. Now, some superstars that we met on the promenade a couple of days ago. Do you remember their names?
Yes, of course. It was a great family with a lovely eyes, except of
Mr. Tom's
Tom.
eyes were dark brown,
Well,
weren't they?
Mr. Tom, Miss Lee, and their greatest children with the blue and the sky eyes, beautifully done children.
And Mr. Barney.
Barney.
Barney, yes, Barney was the young boy and Miss Sky was the young girl.
No.
Benji, I apologise. I truly apologise. I'll shoot myself later. I'm sorry. All the way from Leeds, anyway.
Yes, it's so nice when they were standing and waiting until we probably wanted. They thought that we will shut the camera but then eventually they said that we're watching you, and it was lovely. We actually met in the Tifo too.
We did, didn't we? Yes, two more couples.
Yes,
Mr. Stefan.
Stefan.
Yes, all the way from Liverpool, whose mother is a rather posh lady, and Stephen just wasn't good enough for him, and he had to choose the most beautiful woman in Liverpool to marry as well, and her name was Miss Anne. Okay, and then as we were leaving those people, because they're getting ready to fly back to downtown Liverpool, we were accosted by the next table, by the superstars known as Miss Kim and another Mr. Tom. All the way from the Isle of Wight.
Yes. And this Miss Kim is a hero. She's got 4 kids.
What, 5 if you include Tom?
Well, Tom is growing up kid. He's already an adult. But it was such a nice surprise for us to meet with you, to talk to you one more time. And you know, every time you always, you're thinking that you're shy, you're not ready to be appeared on camera, just leave it to go. Just call us and we will be happy to see you and to hug you, and very pleased to see you again if it happens.
So don't forget the Marika Me channel. What's it about? Well, some people think it's a Paphos-based channel. Well, obviously we are a Paphos-based channel because I live here and the most beautiful woman in the world lives here as well. But we're not actually a Paphos-based channel. It's a channel about her and me wandering around. We get to meet many of the locals and introduce you to them, and of course we get to meet many of you, and we love to meet you. So if you want to meet us, all you've got to do is hunt for us on the promenade or in the harbour, or to make it even easier, drop it in the comments and we will arrange to bump into you. And now and again we do go and visit hotels, and we go and walk around the old town and those kind of things, in the hope and in the dream of meeting you.
And our dearest Aunt Belle will be coming in about 103 days.
I think it was, wasn't it? 103 days.
Yes.
The countdown has yet again begun.
Yes, of course. And we can't wait until we see her again. Such a lovely lady. It's giving you full of sunshine in her heart.
I think Receiver Booth is a little bit down today, and not because the sky is a bit fuzzy. This, unfortunately, is her father's birthday. And those of you who follow the channel, I'm not going to go on about it, but those of you who follow the channel understand that we had some bad news on New Year's Eve. So I'm going to show you that view again while we digest those thoughts. So please forgive her. And on top of that, of course, the superstar known as Dayman. Well, she left our hearts yesterday, but we know that in 103 days, she's coming back again. And guess what? We're going to get her to Chochka dance down the downtown Ked of Paphos promenade once or twice, that is for sure.
I remember she was trying to dance Chichotka with me, and it was so nice of her not to refuse, not to say, you know, I will not be able to do it or whatever. She tried to do her movements, and it was such a nice of her.
And we were accompanied by Miss Janice.
Yes.
She put a lot of effort into it.
Yes.
Although Miss Anne was a bit of a conductor. She stood by the sidelines and conducted the orchestra.
It was nice, very
Yes,
nice.
it was indeed.
But every time you see us, please, come and say, we know you, we're watching you, or hello, how are you, and whatsoever. You just come to us, and you will never regret that you did it, first or the last, or in the middle of these times. Anyway, we are such a glad, having the glad news about the people who write in us. Therefore, they always leave in the reviews. Once they met us, they never forget about us.
No,
This
they never
is very
forget
nice.
about us, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Yes, I'm a little bit lost, to be honest, and talking, but probably yes. This day that it's my father could be 73 years old today.
Well, life must go on, as we say, unfortunately. I'm sure he's in a better place, and I'm sure he's looking down, as many of our loved ones who have left the planet are, and they're wishing us all the best in the world. And I'm sure Dame Anne, there's a man up in the clouds up there called Mr. Allen, and of course he is looking down on you, and he wants all the best for you. Apologise for the weather today, by the way. The temperature, if your name is Miss Dawn, you got a husband called Mr. Sean, a little cat called Miss Daisy, who's an accomplice of a very, very clever dog called Mr. Bobo. The temperature's about 25, but we've got a bit of a dusty sky, so that's robbing us of some of the blueness. And if you're curious to know why Mr. Bobo is such a clever dog, well, now and again, he goes and borrows his boss's, or I think it's the other way around actually, I think he's the boss of Mr. Sean, and he borrows his plastic friend and clicks through to our About page, where he finds a little icon which is called Buy Me a Coffee. He clicks through to that, and now and again he treats us to a coffee or two. And if you want to join us as a superstar member like the Dame Anne, why not join us? €10 a month, bargain.
You know, normally you sit in here and you blowing by the wind, but now the wind just appeared when I was mentioning about it. But before, you would sit here and Mr. Paul would hold his thing in
His
camera,
thing.
camera in his hand.
His thing. Right.
In his hand.
That's because summer's begun.
Summer's begun.
Yes, 1st of June was just a couple of days ago, and summer has begun.
Yes.
So it's calmed down, but unfortunately, as you can see, there's a bit of a dusty cloudies coming in all the way from downtown Arabia. But I think someone is raring to go. She's flexing her heels. Here we go.
Especially for our dearest Jane on her special day. Ho!
Ho! And you can't beat a good ho, especially on your birthday. And a big shout out to Robbie Williams, the superstar, all the way from downtown Newcastle area, isn't it? Although he's moved about. Of course, Miss Jane's from a posh person. She's all the way from Hampshire. There we are. Big shout out. Thanks very much for watching. And of course, we will see you again somewhere in the downtown Cape of Paphos Promenade and Harbour area with the blonde beauty.
Would like to tell you many thanks for your time, for your love, for your attention. We're feeling it every time. We're loving you to bits and kissing you from the bottom of our two hearts.
Thanks for watching. The pirouetting, dancing, professorising, massaging, Brasilia Labuf.